Okay, very happy to be joined today by Lio Rush, who is in the midst of his Where's Home World Tour, as we can see on that shirt he is wearing. We're going to touch on that to kick us off. But firstly, welcome. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for plugging the merch before we even get started. That
Of
was
course, of
amazing.
course, of course. I saw your Instagram story. You were at a Disturbed concert last night, right? How was that?
I was at a Disturbed concert last night. Yeah, wasn't
How was
expect.
that?
I was not expecting to go to a Disturbed concert that day. But my buddy Joe Keys and Ken Dixon hit me up. They trained with me, by the way, in the Maryland Championship Wrestling. But yeah, they hit me up, said that I want to go to a Disturbed concert tonight. And I was like, okay. The funny thing, that was actually my first concert that I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah.
Apart from ones that you're performing on, right?
Yes. No, of course, of course. But going to a show to watch, anything, that was my first concert. I've never been to a concert before.
That's kind of crazy. Obviously, you're so into like kind of music's obviously a big passion for you. You're an artist yourself. That's kind of
Well,
crazy to
I've been
hear.
to I've been to concerts. I've been to like possibly like meet someone who's performing that night,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like
Okay.
backstage or something. But I've never been a fan watching someone perform in
Mhm.
an arena like that, which was at the used to be the Royal Farms Arena. It's called something else now. But yeah, out in Baltimore. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously the tour you're on at the minute, the Where's Home World Tour. Appropriately enough, with that, you're going all over the place with this one. It's kind of rare in independent wrestling for guys to market a tour or a run in this way. I know Ali's kind of done something similar. A man like Darius obviously has his Lyrical Dragon tour, but it's kind of rare. Give us a background of how this little run for you came about and what it means to you.
Man, this run that I'm on right now is incredible. I feel like you know, I'm so used to booking out shows for myself. I think, but to be able to book out this world tour that I'm doing, I feel like it just shows um, how much hard work that I've put in over the last 10 years, and that's what this tour means to me. This is year number 10 that I've been wrestling, and I want to go everywhere. I feel like I have been everywhere, but I wanted to kind of wrap that up in one tour and showcase that, not only have I been everywhere, but there's still somehow more to be done. And I think at the end of this tour, I'm wrestling in Romania. I didn't even know that there was a wrestling promotion in Romania. So I think it's pretty cool that not only have I done so much, but at my age of being 29 years old and um, still being able to do things that I've never done before, or that I never thought that I would be able to do. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I just want to see my fans all over the world. I feel like I've made a connection with so many people from all over, which I'm so grateful about. But I want to see those people in person. So yeah, it means a lot to me, this tour personally.
Yeah, that Romania one is one that jumped out to me as well. I heard an interview you did about a month ago. You said that you want to wrestle in these kind of crazy out there places. I'd say Romania ticks that box.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's one that sticks out to me too. Like I said, I didn't even know that there was
Mm.
a promotion in Romania. But I want to show some love to some other places in Europe that I'll be touring. I know I'll be in South Wales for the first time. I've never wrestled in South Wales before. I'll be in Ireland. I'll be in Germany. I'll be in England. I'll be in France. I've never been to France before, so I'm pretty excited about that. Um, yeah, I'm going all over the place, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I've got the dates here, and I was going to run down them all in a little while. But obviously, I just want to touch on first that this tour's a bit of a reset for you, isn't it? Because obviously, the last couple months of last year, not how you planned it. Of course, you obviously had to take a lot of time out of the ring. You were ill. we're not going to go through what you went through. I think that's fairly well documented at this point. You've done a lot of interviews about it, but I think you're about 10 matches back now. How is everything feeling back in the ring? Do you feel you're at your best?
Man, I feel good. I feel strong. I feel well paced. I feel like I know my body a lot more than I ever have with certain injuries that I've gone through, and being able to really focus on recovery. I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from being away from the ring, is the physical aspect of what I'm doing needed to change, and I feel like I've made those adjustments, and I feel great, man. I'm a little lighter than what I'm used to, but I feel strong. I feel quick, and I feel energized. Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go.
Perfect, perfect. I did, like I said, I had an interview you did a couple of months ago. You said that 2023, the goal was to make a mark in New Japan. You obviously did that. And 2024, the goal for you was stability. The goal was a contract, right? Um, we're a couple months into the year now. You've been super consistent on the indies, as we touched on, wrestling everywhere. Do you feel closer to that ultimate goal of signing the dotted line somewhere?
I do. I do want to say I feel like my goal is shifting a little
Yeah.
bit. I'm no longer solely chasing that contract, and because I don't want that to be the end all, because that could not happen. That
Yeah.
that's just the reality of of wrestling. Some guys can be signed to a place and not be there for the next 5, 10, 15 years, and then eventually end up making some kind of return or whatever the case may be. But I don't want the contract to be the end goal for me. I'd love to be signed somewhere. I think what I can bring to the table is amazing, and I feel like I really want to help. Um, in any way that I can. I feel like it's all getting wrapped up in that 10-year mark for me in wrestling. I'm just seeing things differently. I've seen what I've done in the wrestling industry. I've seen what I can offer to the wrestling industry. Um, yeah, and contract, but not the end all be all for me. I just want to be healthy, and I want to be happy with what I'm doing, ultimately. And I feel like this reason for this tour, this is something that I wanted to do. This is something that I curated, and yeah, I think if it's something that I want to do, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is obviously, like we touched on, you're about to make your way to the UK and over to Europe on this tour as well. I'm going to get into the shows in a second, but since it's obviously the Where's Home tour, talk a little about what the UK has meant for your career. You'd been over a little bit before WWE. You'd been over a lot in the last couple of years since kind of came back from the pandemic with Rev Pro and Progress. But talk about what the UK means for your career, because I know you have a connection, right? I think your wife is English.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
man, like the career, like let's talk about what it's done for my life. It's I feel like I mean the UK is home for me. It really is. You know, it feels like family because it is. Um, yeah, I feel at home every time I come to the UK, and I feel like I wanted the UK to be a part of this tour, because that's the love that I want to feel within this tour. I wanted to go places where it's like I don't know if there's a song like "Where is the love?" Where's the love? Yeah, that kind of feeling is what I wanted to feel for this entire tour, and I definitely have felt that so far in every city, in every state that I've gone to. Um, but yeah, it's shown me that there's more to life. It's shown me that um, you can love a different kind of way. It's shown me that you can be passionate about something without needing to be the face on the poster. It's shown me that you can eat cleaner or eat in a different way or in a better way. It's so many. I don't know. It does so much to me, and it does so much for me. And yeah, I'm about to reciprocate that love when I come to Europe.
Yeah, so I've got the dates here. You'll be here 29th of February, IWN and Milton Keynes taking on Robbie X. 1st of March, OTT in Wolverhampton against Drill and Maloney. I'm surprised you guys never locked horns in New Japan.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
2nd of March, OTT Dublin, Scotty Davis, the opponent that time. 3rd of March, Slam Masters in Cardiff taking on Wild Boar. 5th of March is one I'm going to come on to in a minute, and Modern Nomad, Mad Kurt Forever in Manchester. And then 7th of March, Progress in London. We don't have a match announced for that one just yet, but that's the one I'm going to be at. I'm going to be at that show, so
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that one. And then it's over to Europe with, I guess, 16 karat gold, WXW kind of being, I guess, the biggest one there. But obviously, you mentioned stops in France, Romania. And then I think at the end of March, you're going to be back in the UK. But I don't think the promotion have officially announced that one yet. So I'm going to leave that one there. Um, Hell of a run you've got ahead of you. I know you're pretty excited to be coming over. Obviously, that show I want to touch on March 5th. It's a bit of a special one, Mad Kurt Forever. I guess, what does it mean to you to be a part of this show? A special event in honor of Curtis Chapman. I don't know how much time you would have spent with him. I know when you came over for RevPro in 2022, he was kind of on that loop as well. So what does it mean to you to be on that show, and what memories do you have of Kurt?
Yeah, it means so much for me to be a part of this show, because he, for one, is someone who I've had the pleasure of interacting with when I did come to the UK. Um, you know, I'm normally pretty focused backstage. I'm normally in my zone. I'm getting ready for what I have to do when I get out there. Um, but when I do have conversations with people, it always feels meaningful. It always feels like it's supposed to happen. And I've had, an interaction with him where we were literally just kind of admiring each other's work and wishing that we could work each other one day, get in the ring and do something. Uh, yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen, but that's always stuck out to me. I was a fan of his stuff. I thought he was super entertaining. I felt like a lot of people liked him. I feel like a lot of people loved him. He seemed like somebody who had a lot of friends, um, you know, backstage. So I know that loss hit a lot of people. Um, and if that affects them, that affects me because, like I said, the UK is home and feels like family. So, yeah, it was a big loss for a lot of people.
Yeah. Just such a creative guy with some of the stuff he did as well, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Coming on to your career a little bit, one thing that kind of stands out to me is just how young you were when you signed with WWE. I think you were 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Not many people getting signed that young. At least now, not many established wrestlers getting signed that young, right? They're obviously picking people out of college now. And certainly not many people making the main roster at 23. I think that's kind of rare.
Yeah,
Um, in hindsight, do you think you were ready for such a huge stage at that moment of your career and your life?
man, you hit it. You're getting me with the questions. Good questions. Uh, was I ready? I feel like I was ready. Uh, was I fully prepared? Probably not. Um, how can I be? Uh,
Yeah,
I was 22. Um, yeah, I feel like there was just a lot of growing, probably in life, uh,
yeah,
that needed to happen to be able to handle a situation like that. I feel like I had a grasp on it, but and a firm grasp, but yeah, I couldn't handle it for too long, um, and that is on me. Uh, yes, could things have been done differently? Probably. But I'm ultimately grateful for the experience. Ultimately grateful that it shown me what it shown me, and it gave me an opportunity to showcase my talents. Um, yeah, that was pretty cool. I always like talking about my WWE run now because it's been a long. I feel like it's been a long time. Um, I've certainly done so much since leaving WWE, so it feels like forever ago. Every time I look at videos, I'm like, man, like this happened. like this is really cool. But yeah, I enjoyed that run. I really did. I feel like in all the things that you said with, me being as young as I was and me being signed to WWE at that age, I feel like it was pretty, groundbreaking. I feel like what I did in um, WWE was history, and it has influenced so many people, which I'm always surprised and shocked about when I'm doing independent shows. I'm meeting wrestlers on rosters that literally grew up watching me in WWE, like while they're in high school or in middle school. And it's like, man, this is how old am I again? I'm not I'm not the 23-year-old piece of gold anymore, but I'm still young, which is so crazy. I've done a lot, man. I really enjoyed that run.
I'm glad that you mentioned the 23-year-old piece of gold because I was going to bring up next. You're a man of many nicknames, aren't you? The
Yeah.
Bad Child, the Black Heart, the 23-year-old piece of gold. Once upon a time, like we said. But I guess the one that has stuck the most and followed you throughout your whole career has been Man of the Hour. How did that one first come about? And then talk a little bit on the evolution of it using the acronym to the point where you then had the moth inspired gear, right?
Sorry, I didn't mean to bust out laughing with that one, but that's so funny. It's just such a funny story with
Yeah.
the moth logo, and I'll get
Yeah.
into that. But yeah, the man of the hour name, I feel like it stemmed from me at a time where I had so much belief in myself and I knew what I was capable of, and I was young and I was hungry and I was passionate, and I knew when yeah, I was just confident, man. But I feel like a lot of that confidence has been mistaken with arrogance, and I feel like yeah, that has its own story throughout my career. But the name, yeah, I feel like that's probably stuck with people, and it's stuck with me throughout my whole career because I feel like when I am in the ring, I do showcase that I'm the man of the hour. I do showcase that, this is my moment, this is my show, this is my opportunity to not only showcase my, you know, moves or my athleticism or but showcase that, I'm good at what I do, and I feel like I bring out the best in my opponents, and I feel like those opponents bring out the best in me. I feel like a lot of people see that um, I've done a lot, and that I have uh, the knowledge behind my career and name and presence to back that up. I've always been. I mean, I hate talking about it because, like I said, I definitely feel like I'm a pretty reserved person,
Hmm.
pretty like humble person and all. Um, but when we are talking about me and me in the ring and my skill that I guess I have in the ring and on the mic, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it because I worked very hard. I worked very hard to get where I am, and have the I guess skill level that people see and skill level that I know that I have. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I might need to get back to the man of the hour name now. You're getting me fired up, man.
I guess the thing that stands out when you're thinking of these almost different personas, right? The Black Heart, the Bad Child, is something. It's evident that presentation is something that's super important to you, right?
Yes, no, for sure. I definitely I feel like it was taught to me um the moment you step out into that arena, uh when you walk through that curtain, the moment you're seen, that's your chance. That's your moment to showcase who you are. Um, you know, yeah, the music comes first and you want to grab people's attention, but the moment you walk through that curtain, all eyes are on you. And I feel like the presentation is the biggest thing. Um, yeah, for me at least, that's what I believe.
Yeah. Want to talk a little bit about AEW? Obviously, it was a short run. It ended pretty abruptly. One thing I think fans think about when thinking of your time there was your tag match alongside Dante against Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal, March 2021. It's a match that's still very highly regarded by many fans. How do you feel those guys kind of complement your style and what made that match so special?
It's yeah, that match comes up a lot, and I love that it does because I feel like it showed just how much we all probably cared about that match. Um, yeah, and it was a moment for all of us. Uh, Dante Martin is an innovator in his own right. Um, and I feel like over time, people will see that more and more and more. Uh, he, it was cool to be able to wrestle with him. Um, it's cool to be able to wrestle with someone who whose strength is the thing that makes them stand out the most, and they hit on that marker right there. I feel like my strength is my evasiveness, and I feel like that's what makes me special in my own right. I feel like Matt Seidel's an innovator in his own right, uh, with his strikes and the mixture of the aerial moves. Um, yeah, it doesn't get much better, and his flexibility. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like that's and then you got Lee Moriarty who hits the more technical part of wrestling, but he can be a high flyer in his own right too. I mean, there was just so many different dynamics and styles within that match, but it was all showcased in that match vividly, and I think that's a testament to how good each of us are individually with what we do. Um, and it was a plus that we all get along pretty well too. Uh, so yeah, it was cool, man. It was really cool.
Does it feel like you have some unfinished business with AW, given how everything went down, given how you didn't get to have that many matches, given that you didn't get to
There's
work with
always
Marius
unfinished
at all?
business. There's always unfinished business. Can I see myself doing more things in AEW? Absolutely.
Mm.
If that is the answer that you want, uh, absolutely. I think I could do more in AEW. Um, but yeah, things just don't happen with the snap of the finger. There's so many different things, a part of the decision making. Um, but yeah, there's so much. I mean, I still watch. I actually still watch. I watch everything. I watch WWE. I watch AEW. I watch Ring of Honor. I watch Collision. I watch Dynamite. I watch Raw. I watch SmackDown. I watch NXT. I watch New Japan. I think that's the beauty about being a free agent right now too, is that I'm able to. I want to watch. I want to see. I want to know what's going on. I want to be entertained still. I want to be inspired. I want to be motivated. Um, So yeah, I watch it all.
Yeah, well, we're kind of going through the list of companies you've been through because there's been a lot. There's been a lot of companies. You're one of these guys that's kind of worked everywhere. You've obviously done AEW, done WWE, New Japan, Impact, MLW, Ring
I
of
watch
Honor,
Impact. Oh no, actually, I watch TNA.
TNA. Exactly. What do you make of them going back to that name?
I mean, I love it. I mean, I had the TNA video game when I was a kid. That's nostalgia to the highest for me. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously you worked there a lot last year as well. Scott Demore, someone you
Yes.
would have worked with a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the news about him a couple of weeks ago no longer being there. What was your reaction to that?
Aside, just like how I did.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yes, some things. Uh, yeah, some things just don't make sense. But I guess I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. A lot of last year was spent in New Japan. The thing that stood out to me, purely just watching, is how quickly the Japanese fans really took to you and got behind you. Did you feel that in the moment?
Yeah, I did. And I feel like it has changed my life forever. Um, yeah, I don't think that I've ever connected with an audience emotionally that quickly and that strong. Um, yeah, I, Japan is another one of those places. Yes, that's home. Feels like family. Um, yeah, I I literally got a baby handed to me in the
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I remember very vividly that moment after it was one of the Super Junior shows, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that the baby in the front row. I remember that moment vividly, and that's crazy.
yeah. That what that did for me. Uh, that instantly made me think about my kids back at home in America. Um,
I
yeah,
think you talked about that in your post-match comments right after that.
I did. I was bawling out crying. If we can get somebody, so whoever's watching this video, we need to get that. We need to get that moment of me getting handed the baby, and then we need to get another moment posted of me doing my post match interview because I feel like that's probably the realest uh, moment emotionally that you'll probably ever see me in. And that stuck out to me so much with that whole tour. Um, yeah, that was special.
Yeah. Obviously, in your time in New Japan, started in World Tag League 2022. You formed your team with Yo. Really popular team. What was it like teaming together at the time, and how do you look back at that run with him in hindsight?
Again, another one of those emotional things that you just can't escape from. This is somebody that I've toured with. This is someone that I've developed a bond with from wrestling with every single night, night after night after night, city after city after city, um, winning the tournament with him. Uh, Funny thing, I actually met Yo years before Super Junior Tag League. And it was when he was on excursion in America. And
Yeah.
he used to wrestle a lot and used to be around Sumi Sakai and Chigusa Nagayo. And at the time, I was training with them because I wanted to do a tryout for Marvelous to try to get to Japan. Like early on in my career, I wanted to go to Japan. So I think it's always been cool seeing Yo throughout the years, and then it's like boom, now we're like a tag team randomly, uh, and we end up winning the whole thing. And then after that, my first Wrestle Kingdom is with Yo. Uh, my face gets split open, and Yo's the one right there checking on me, rubbing my face, trying to see where the cuts are and if I'm good. Yeah, it, teaming with Yo, being in New Japan, uh, has been not only a good career experience, but just overall life experience. I feel like Yo is my brother. Uh, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
I didn't know what you just said there about Marvelous. Please tell me what training with Chigusa Nagayo is like.
Well, so what I went to was a tryout.
Right.
But I've been around, and that was I think it was a 1 day tryout.
Mm,
But I've been with Chigusa a few times, just from traveling to different shows with her. Uh, yeah, it's so crazy to even think to even be talking about this because those moments were uh, some unforgettable. Well, I mean, clearly they're forgettable because I forgot about them, but I mean, when you just think and look back on it, I mean, man, I've been around some pretty cool things and cool people since the very beginning of my career. Um, but Chigusa is no joke, man.
mm,
She's a walking, living, breathing legend,
yeah.
uh, and she still loves this. This is yeah. I was just talking to Chigusa the other day. Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, she came over here and did a show with Eve a couple years ago now. But I mean, it's really cool seeing her over in the US doing the stuff with West Coast Pro, right? Which is where you'll be at the weekend. But that's just it's cool to see that partnership.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, and I love that I believe she's doing another tryout, or maybe a couple of tryouts for Marvelous to get people on over to Japan, which is incredible. I like seeing
Yeah.
that is still happening.
Yeah. Um, just quickly on that New Japan, we mentioned the unfinished business with AEW. You must feel there's unfinished business in Japan given the way it ended. You were supposed to have that title shot, then obviously that your sickness happens, and then you're not able to do it. There's got to be something you want to try and right the wrong at some point.
Yes, I mean at some point, yeah, when that will be, I don't know, um, but like I said, there's unfinished business everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll right that wrong one of these days. One of these days.
I'm curious to see if there's unfinished business here as well. I want to talk about some of the stuff you do outside of the ring as well. We're going to talk about your music in a moment. But first, in 2020, you were cast on perhaps my favorite TV show in the world, The Challenge. You're on season 36.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when it came out that you were going to be on, and it completely caught me off guard that because obviously they weren't pulling from WWE, it was just reality
Yeah.
stars, and then there's Lio Rush just in the middle. That completely caught me off guard. What was your reaction when you got that call?
So I got an email, and I was looking at the email, and it just looked like spam. I was so confused, uh, and I decided to write back to it, and next thing I knew, 2 weeks later, I was on the challenge.
Two
And
weeks, that quick.
it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick. Maybe I'm exaggerating with the 2 weeks. Maybe it was about a month because there was a transition period of me going from Florida to LA. And yeah, I was shocked, man. I remember making a TikTok video and and saying that I couldn't believe that I was going to be on the challenge. This is something that I watched. Um, I watched, and I was a huge fan of like Road Rules, um, Real World. Uh, so to be able to be on that show. And I didn't even believe it until, how can I believe it until I get
Yeah.
there? Yeah. So that whole process, especially it during COVID, uh, which was which was a whole nother, element that you bring on to how crazy the show already is. So it was cool. It was really, really cool. It was one of those life-changing things. I feel like everything that I do is just a life-changing thing, and I it's just a yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Have you had the chance to talk to the Miz about it either before for advice or since?
I remember let me see. Did I talk to the Miz? I remember talking to the Miz, but funny thing, I remember talking to the Miz before I left for LA because I remember
Yeah.
talking to him about what it was like. What not even knowing that I was going to be in LA one day, not knowing that I was going to be on that show one day. Um, yeah, maybe I should have asked him if he knew how to tell the future or something. Because yeah, I definitely would have asked him about the challenge. I would have asked how you get through certain things, how to deal with certain
Yeah.
things. Yeah, yeah, I should have.
Yeah, I know we're running a bit short on time. I wanted to get on to talk about your music as well. But just looking back 4 years, how nearly 4 years, how do you reflect on your time on the show?
I'd do it again for sure.
Mm.
Um, I think I think I did it at such a difficult time for
Yeah.
me personally. Um, I just got released from WWE. I literally just got released from WWE. So my brain
Mm.
was, I didn't really know, what was next, how to process it, how to, move about. I just moved to LA. While moving to LA, my wife was pregnant. Um, so, and it was COVID. Uh, so me leaving to go to
Not ideal.
yeah, to go to Iceland to be uh
It's
surrounded
ridiculous when you say it like that.
yeah, to be surrounded by, so many people that I've never met before, so many different
Mm.
personalities. I'm on a reality TV show. Uh I'm taking it all in. And in the back of my mind, I know that, it's possible that my wife can have this baby and I can't communicate with her. It's kind of jarring. So I feel like I definitely would like to do it again if the opportunity came. It would just be a whole different thing. I'd be a whole different animal.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved it. I definitely do it again. And some of those people I still talk to. Some of those people still support me and what I'm doing in wrestling, which is incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, who do you kind of keep in touch with? I know Jay is someone that you obviously did a song with Jay. He's kind of been a real focal point of the season that's on now.
Yeah.
Who else are you kind of still in touch with?
TJ, every
Yeah,
once in a while we'll say what's up. He'll still like some of my posts and stuff that I'm doing in my career. Corey, somebody who I bonded with a lot, being a family man and talking about his kids and my kids and stuff like that. Um, Kyle, shout out to Kyle, fellow brother from the UK.
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
always remember, like immediately, like one of the first scenes of the entire series was you doing some wrestling moves on Kyle on the couch, and it was brilliant.
no, I love Kyle, man. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, yeah, another thing that I did in my life, so random, but it will probably stick with me forever. Some of those people I'll probably see 10, 15 years down the line. So yeah, MTV is has done a lot for me.
Yeah, obviously music. Obviously, I know we're coming up on time here. Music, obviously, something that's a huge passion for you as well. You dropped the music video for The Rub a couple of days ago. It's a great song, some really great wrestling references in there. Since this is the newest release, just give a bit of insight into what this song means to you.
This song is I think it's incredible. I think it's cool that I was able to do this song, um, and I like that people are catching all of the wrestling references. I think they're done in a very creative way. And I love the beat. I love that it kind of has that UK drill influence to it.
Mm.
I love uh, I love that I did the video in my training center
Mhm.
that I grew up training in, MCW. Um, yeah, and I love that I'm showcasing wrestling. I think it hits a lot of points, and I love the song, man. I'm glad that people enjoyed it. If somebody can get all of the wrestling references, I need to see a list of all of the wrestling references that you guys caught. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Another song you released just quickly with a lot of wrestling influence is you did the remix for "They Love Me" on "No Time to Heal." You were able to collab with a lot of people: AJ Francis, Josiah Williams, Enzo, Chris Bay, and a couple of the UK zone in Shotty Horror and man like Doris as well. Talk about the process of creating this and what it means to just be able to work with these guys and bring everything together like this.
Ah, man, I'm so grateful for all of those guys. I feel like all of those guys are almost like my brothers for life because during that time of getting that song together, um, I was going through a rough thing. I was going through a pretty rough time. I knew that I wanted to make this album to kind of, you know, shed some light and bring some healing energy and just make people feel good. And I knew that this was going to be one of those songs that just made people feel good, like, especially wrestling fans. And I wanted to showcase that there's so many talented music artists in wrestling, and I wanted to bring them all together. On one song. At least as many people as I could possibly fit on that song. I think the song is about 8 minutes long. But
Mm.
yeah, everybody was so open and down to doing it. I reached out to them, and all of them literally got me verses back within, I don't know, like less than a week. Um, so they kind of dropped I mean, we're all busy in our own way. So for people to, coming from shows, writing on the plane, I think Chris May said that he wrote this wrote this on the plane and went straight to the booth and recorded it. Shoddy, AJ, everybody, man, like Darius. I'm glad that I was able to get him on here.
Yeah, I don't think Doris had done any like proper songs before, had he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked him, or maybe it's been a very, very, very long time,
Yeah,
at least. But I wanted to showcase, shout out to man like Darius. Like, he's so
he's the
talented.
man.
Yeah, yeah, he's talented, man, and I wanted more people to hear that. So I'm glad that all of us were able to kind of get together and nobody knew what it was going to sound like because I didn't send it to them. I didn't want to like ruin the surprise of who was going to go first or how it was going to be together. But I told them I'm glad that they trusted me with the process of getting everything together and putting that on the album. So shout out to all of those guys.
Yeah. Just to kind of bring it back on to your tour as we finish here. You're here in the UK in a couple of weeks. Some of the matches have been announced, but obviously there's some matches that haven't yet as well. Who are some of the guys that from the UK, from Europe, that you haven't had a chance to step in the ring with that you'd really love the chance to? Call your shot. Who do you want?
Michael Oku, what you want? What you want? When you want to do it? Huh? I'm here. I'm coming to the UK. I'm coming, and I'm not leaving for a pretty long time. So you let me know what you want to do. I'll have my watch on. But yeah, Michael Oku, he's definitely somebody who sticks out to me a lot. One that is announced, Dan Maloney, Driller.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be intense. I already know.
he's
But
coming. He's coming off the back of that wild cage match as well.
yeah, yeah. But we're no stranger to one another for sure. But yeah, it's time we see what the in ring work is like. It's time.
Yeah. One person I do just want to quickly get your thoughts on. You've wrestled him before, Leon Slater. Kind of some parallels to you in that you both made a name for yourself super young. He's obviously signed to TNA now. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's gonna be insane when he gets. You know, I told him, like, man, you're like 10 times better than what I was when I was that age, and that's scary. That's really scary. So he's gonna be, yeah. Now I'm looking at 5 years from now, like
Yeah.
10 years from now. Uh, he's already making waves. He's already a game changer. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so one more just quickly. It's not UK related, but I did kind of tell a few people that I was talking to you today, and someone specifically mentioned to bring up Mascara Dorada to you. What are your thoughts on him, and is that a match you could see yourself having in the future?
Let's do it. I'm 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 so open to wrestling every style that there is to wrestle up against. So yeah, another one of those people that I want to get in that ring with. So definitely.
Yeah, finally, man, just feel free to shout out what you got coming up. I know you've got a busy weekend this weekend too. Chris Bay on Saturday at Revolver. We talked about Chris Bay obviously in the song. West Coast Pro, you got a trios match teaming with Jacob Fatu and Lee Moriarty. That's a hell of a team. Taking on Lost Vipers and a mystery partner. Do you have an idea who they might have recruited?
No clue, but I said it once, I'll say it again. They better have somebody bigger than Jacob. They better, or they're gonna be in trouble.
No, Jacob's on a hell of a run right now too, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, you got that coming up this weekend, but just shout out what else you got coming up, where people can follow you, where people can listen to your music.
Yes. You can go, you can first follow me on all of my social media platforms at I am Lio Rush. You can find links to everything that I have going on right now, merchandise, YouTube channel where you can find my music videos, Spotify accounts, Apple, all streaming services. Um, and yeah, keep following my journey. After this weekend, like you said, we're in Grand Prairie, Texas for Revolver, West Coast Pro in Los Angeles, California. But the weekend after that, I'm gonna be in Queens, New York for Violence and Suffering. I'm heading on over to Worcester, Massachusetts for Beyond, and then I'm going back to Maine. First time I've been to Maine in 6, 7 years, and I'll be there for Limitless. So then after that, we're on off to the UK and in Europe. So I'm yeah, keep following what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot. I'm trying to keep up myself. But yeah, it's exciting. And I'm on one hell of a run in my own right too. So yeah, let's go.
Absolutely,
Look at the merch.
absolutely.
I gotta see what the merch, the world
Yeah, I want
t-shirt
to pick. I want to pick up one of those shirts from you at the Progress show in a couple weeks.
dates on the back. We
Yeah,
gotta show them the dates. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah, follow me everywhere, and I can't wait to see you guys in person.
yeah. Thank you, Leo, for taking the time today. Really, really fun chat. Honor to have you on. One of my favorites, as I told you before we started. I'm not just saying that. I promise. You genuinely, man. I'm a huge fan of you, so
Appreciate that. Thank you
I
so much.
really appreciate you coming on. And I will be at that Progress show in a couple of weeks, so I will see you there.
Let's go. Appreciate it. See you then.
Thank you.